the benefit of those that are watching this. So Kim, you own your own specialist finance business, don't you? And I think you've also got another business that you're just starting to ramp up now.
Mm-hmm.
So the impact that Kim personally makes is really important in terms of what she's done in her life, in terms of the fact that she's set up businesses and how she's gone about setting those businesses up and what those businesses look like. Kim, do you mind if we share your profile on screen? So for the benefit of everybody watching, this is Kim's GC Index profile. If I just ask one of the other panelists to give me a nod that that's displaying. Yep, excellent. So Kim, so that we score everything from 1 to 10. So all the different GC Index proclivities. The higher the score, the more intense the energy. Kim's main energies are around game changer and polisher. And then she also has some supporting energies, we'd probably call it, around strategist and playmaker. So Kim's in the creative space, attention to detail, and then execution of the right kind of plans and strategies by working through her team and her partners. So first, before we get into any kind of analysis, Kim, what was your take on this view of what you do?
Before we actually saw the results for this, and you were talking me through the game changer, the strategist, already I kind of knew what side I'd be on. So there weren't any surprises for me actually when I actually saw this.
Great. So taking this into a bit of kind of the analysis, thinking about your business and how you lead your business, how would you say that your profile, your energies here have influenced the way you've developed your business?
So for anyone that knows me, when I get an idea in my head, I almost become obsessive with it and I just go with it. I'm not an overthinker. I just and I channel everything into implementing that idea. And then the polisher side is actually really funny because I am obsessively like all over, doing it to the best of my abilities. And my team will tell you this as well. Like, so I won't ever settle for average. If we're providing a service, it has to be the best. And, so for that side of things, I think that's probably why Vibe is the way it is on the specialist brokerage side, because that's probably why I am so obsessed about doing things the right way. I can't ever do it and know that it's only like a job half done. So yeah.
And it's interesting because when I was looking at your business, Kim, before we spoke, and I think I said this to you on the call, it was really obvious. Looking at the website, the way the Vibe brand is presented is very creative and very vibrant. But not only that, there was an execution, a quality of execution of everything on the website, through the graphics, through how things were worded, that really spoke to that attention to detail that comes from your leadership energy. So it was very much a physical manifestation of your creative thinking and your attention to detail in terms of how that creative thinking is executed. I urge anybody to go and have a look at the Vibe website, and you will probably see what I saw. Where does the polisher kick in for you, Kim, in terms of how's that pushed forward the growth of Vibe?
I just think it's just in the day to day, when we have our morning meetings as a team, we always talk about, what we can do better and things like that. So it's just probably one of the key areas that it's been built on, if I'm honest with you.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's just, in a way, it's made me look at it a bit more, because I think from reading my profile, it can be overbearing sometimes, trying to get that perfection and what you kind of expect from people. So it's also making me kind of take stock of how I can be with the team as well.
Hmm. That makes sense. And thinking about the two fours that you've got there for strategist and playmaker, it's interesting because one of the things that we see on these profiles is, as Nathan said, it's not just as simple as you are in one of these boxes. It's quite a lot more complex. Um, if somebody had, if let's just say Kim had these energies here, but had very little energy in these two spaces, you might be looking at a very different type of leadership, and different outcomes from a business perspective. So with your profile, Kim, you've clearly got some energy to get into the planning and the understanding patterns and trends when you need to, and you've also got the energy to go and grab groups of people, and as Nathan was saying, build those relationships between them so they can work together to execute on your vision. So what would be an example of where you've done that in the past in the business, where you've kind of brought these energies in to support your vision?
I think it would just be the whole team element. You know, when we get together, I try and get everyone together as much as we can, but obviously they're very self-sufficient. But I think that's where the strategist maybe comes in, and the playmaker side of it. I'm sure you're going to talk about the implementer in a bit, so I'll talk about that in a minute. Well, I think.
Well, actually, yeah.
Can I ask a question? Do you mind? Sorry, Kim. We've only met literally briefly, and I've just seen it.
Yeah.
Quite a personal. Tell me to shush and be quiet if it's too much. We're going live, but are you quite demanding at times of yourself and your staff? Yeah. Have you had that feedback?
Feedback from what staff?
Yeah.
I just know I am.
Yeah. Okay. Fine.
I don't think people need to tell me, but I am, unfortunately.
Which I presume is part of your success, right? Is that?
But then I guess from doing this, it's just making me take stock.
Yeah.
It was such a good benefit from doing this kind of the index. So
I'm not going to take. I'll let John speak. I think it's really, really important. You're going to talk about the implementer. What I think people really must understand is that a high score is not necessarily a strength, and a low score necessarily a weakness. So a low score can be a strength as well as a weakness. A high score can be a strength as well as a weakness. And I think I can talk a bit more about that if it's useful. But you mentioned the implementer score, Kim, just then, so I'll let John carry on. Sorry for interrupting. I had to ask that question. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
No, it's all good, Nathan. So actually, let's tackle the implementer score. So, and like Nathan says, let's not perceive this as a weakness. It isn't. It's just where your energies are. So how have you? So the implementer score would imply that you don't have huge amount of energy to get tasks done, but you've executed a business and it's a successful business. So where have you looked in terms of getting stuff done in order to, because I sense, Kim, that your natural energy is on having a vision and polishing that vision and making sure that everything is in place to execute on that vision as well as possible. It's not necessarily in day-to-day operations. So how have you managed to find other people with the energy to fill that gap in?
If I'm honest with you, because I've never even come across this kind of this way of kind of analysing. Had I done, and it's also now I want to implement it with the team so that I do understand that. Because until now, you get given a CV, you meet someone for, an hour, and then you make a really key business decision to take someone on. And it's not until now that I see this area that I really want to do it for the team as well. But I think why this is low for me, I don't like the same tasks, doing the same thing day in, day out. I do it because I have to, and I'm a business owner. And if it doesn't get done, then I won't have a business. So it's not from wanting to do it. I don't get joy from doing that. I love being spontaneous and just kind of doing all the creative stuff, which makes this, make so much more sense to me. But this is why using this tool for future recruitment is absolutely key, especially for someone like me where I don't like so much of the implementation, and also probably why I set up a business in the first place, because, you know, I was in jobs which was doing the same thing day in, day out. And that's obviously why, because of the game changer side of me so strong, running a business is something that is probably good for me.
Absolutely. And I think just picking up on something you said about the recruitment elements of it, Kim, you must have somehow intuitively known that you needed people who could get things done to support you, because, as we say, the success of your business speaks for itself. I wonder if in your case that came from your energy in the polisher space, that, you know, you're looking for the very best possible outcomes with everything you do. Maybe that meant you were able to see that you needed those people, even if perhaps you didn't go looking for people like that. That in your case you naturally did that.
Yeah, maybe.
But I suppose it exposes the risk, which is that if you don't know this about yourself and about your existing team, then you are slightly at a disadvantage, well, you're at a significant disadvantage in terms of building that team up to be as successful as it possibly can be. Because, like you were saying, Kim, you now know that this isn't an area where you're going to get much satisfaction spending your time. So if you were scaling the business up, you would need to have more people who've got that energy level in there. And so you might be more inclined to go looking for people like that in the future, as opposed to it happening by chance.
Definitely.
Yeah. So I mean, not just thinking of the implementer, but just to finish off, some conscious of time, when you do come to hire more people into Vibe, what sort of impact package are you going to be looking for from people?
I mean, you don't want, you can't, no one is the same anyway. You don't want a team that is full of like one-sided, if we're looking at something like this. It has to be like a balance. And having, you could have someone come in, a team member that completely just changes the dynamics of the team. So having someone, having this balance is really, really important. And also, not only that, it's also for me to fully understand my team. So when changes are being implemented, which of course they will be, and the changes even personally that we've all gone through this year, how might that person take that change, and how you can change the way that I would approach certain things. So yeah, I don't know, it would just be having more of a balance, which is why I think having it for the team is just so important.
Yeah, because then you'd know kind of what does your current package of impact in the team look like, and what might you need to take you up to the next level, and what might you need to maintain where you are now, indeed.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Thank you, Kim. I appreciate you offering yourself up for scrutiny on a live webinar like this. So thank you, and it was a pleasure to review you too. It was great.